So Verlander comes back on Friday. The Astros win that game. But then Saturday, oh my gosh. The Astros go with, I believe they go with Presley for the save on Saturday. And that doesn't go well. The Astros bullpen right now is right because so Blanco pitches, and Blanco was good. He gives up the homer to Abrams, but he still goes 6 innings. Montero scoreless, Brian Abreu scoreless, and then Presley gives up 2 homers or two runs in the 9th, and then they lose in the 10th on a walk-off. And then on Sunday, they just get dominated by Mitchell Parker in his second career start. And the Astros are now 7 and 16. They're 7 and 16 with a minus 28 run differential.
Sifting through the problems on the Astros to figure out what's real and will sustain and what is small sample size theater is difficult. Like, I am legitimately worried about how bad Jose Abreu has been. And talking to people that have pitched against him so far this season, the consensus is that Big Dog is cooked, which is a bummer because he's an awesome player,
one of our favorites.
Great career.
Yeah.
But Abreu, it's not something that is going to get better, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like the bullpen, in the back 3 of Abreu, Presley, and Hader, which we thought would be like the best late inning trio in baseball, they've been terrible. And like, I think that has to turn around. That's been a legitimate surprise that group has not been good. I still would pick the Astros to win the division. Call me nutso, but I'm getting less and less confident every single day.
I'm certainly. Now, remember, I picked the Astros to be in the World Series or win the World Series. Terrible. But I still picked the Mariners to win the division.
Which is maybe an unhinged prediction because
I mean, I think I said that the Mariners would win barely, and then the Astros would beat them in the CS or whatever. The Astros bullpen right now has the third worst ERA of any team. Do you know who is worst? This is interesting. It's the Giants and the Phillies have the 2 worst bullpen ERAs in baseball. But the Astros, which was supposed to be the best, full stop, what more do you want to see, has been atrocious. And it's really, really something to watch. And they just keep getting injured. Christian Javier hits the IL with a neck injury. Fromber, we still don't really know when he's coming back. Nice to have Verlander back, but I mean, man, they are searching for innings. And this is okay. Like you could say, I just want to quickly check their playoff probability because it's like, I want to say, the Astros will still win the division, but it has to have dropped significantly. Yeah. So I'm going to look at that and then we can move on.
The Astros and Red Sox should come together. I mean, they've got enough for like one good team compared with all the injuries they've had.
So I'm just looking at this. To win the division, the Astros, according to Fangraphs, started the season at about around 60%, and it has dropped to 35%. So it's not like it doesn't say doomed, but and again, it helps that the top of this division is still not great. But man, oh man, they are going to have to like get hot. This isn't a matter of surviving. Like you got to start playing really good baseball.
It's a bad start. There's no 2 ways around that. Yeah. Quickly. CJ Abrams is amazing. He is figuring it out. He is 23 years old. He is a wonderful reminder that our baseball watching minds have been warped and ruined by the accomplishments of guys like Juan Soto and Ronald Acuna Jr. and Corbin Carroll and Julio Rodriguez. Top prospects do not always come up and dominate right away. Certain skill sets need time to cook, to develop, to adjust to the big leagues. And Abrams, who came up, I believe, at 21 for the Nats after being traded over from the Padres, struggled. Like he had real flaws in his offensive game and still has flaws in his defensive game. And it was easy to not forget about him, but almost disregard him as someone who is not elite on the same level as the Bobby Witts and the Corbin Carrolls and the Gunnar Hendersons. But so far this season, at least from an offensive perspective, he has been that. He has been just as good as any of those guys. And there's still a lot of things to work on with the glove at shortstop. I'm still skeptical that he can be a big league, like elite defensive shortstop. There's an argument that you just put him in center and let him go run balls down. eventually if it doesn't get any better. But boy, oh boy, has this guy made huge strides at the plate and deserves a lot of credit. And like that, CJ Abrams becoming like a 4-win, 5-win player makes me feel so much better about like the 2026 Washington Nationals. It's a huge deal, I think.
And because of where they're at, they should absolutely let him play shortstop for as long as he can, right? Let him figure it out. Let him get him the right coaches and let it happen, because you'll take all of that as long as he's doing that. So He's been tremendous, and their pitching has been, besides Corbin, who continues to be just shockingly horrible. Trevor Williams, solid. Jake Irvin looks great. Mitchell Parker looks like he's getting. Gore's been good, so we'll see how injured Josiah Gray is. But Nats are, we kind of said this last year even, but that's not necessarily a team you're going to walk all over.
Davey Martinez gets the boys ready to play. All right, Davey Martinez gets the guys going.
But Abrams is different, because that's what they've just offensively, since they traded Soto, they have not had anybody that scares you at all. Now Abrams is actually the opportunity to do that.
Let's fly through some of these. The Orioles taking 2 out of 3 from the Kansas City Royals. Royals beating down the O's on Friday before Baltimore taking the last 2. Saturday was the much hyped pitching duel between Corbin Burns and Cole Reagans. I believe that the final score was 9-7.
Yeah. I mean, the Royals were coming back there. They made it interesting. After winning that game, the Orioles had a big lead. Royals were coming back, couldn't quite get there. And then Orioles kind of stomped them on Sunday. Who pitched for Baltimore on Sunday?
Sunday was Cole Irvin.
Cole Irvin.
Best start of his Orioles career. I believe he went 6 2/3. Looked really good.
And then
Colton Cowser and Jordan Westberg have both been just unbelievable. And
so,
go ahead.
I mean, we've mentioned Cowser already, right? But I don't think he's technically qualified yet in terms of plate appearances. Jordan Westberg, who is a qualified hitter, is 7th
very
in OPS.
Qualified. He's very qualified.
He's qualified. That's true. He's clearly qualified to be there. But like, as far as, minimum number of plate appearances being on the leaderboards, he's 7th in OPS right now, behind, right behind Juan Soto and CJ Abrams and Ellie De La Cruz.
And it's a good reminder of why the Orioles have been the number 1 system in baseball, and we had them at 1 in our young talent rankings, is it's not just Holiday, Henderson, Rushman. The second level of offensive talent they have is capable of getting to the big leagues and doing what Westbrook has done.
And guess what? It might not be the second level. Like, Jordan Westberg might be the first level. We don't know yet.
There is a legitimate chance.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we could talk about Jackson Holiday briefly. Just quickly, he's been horrible at the plate. The rest of the Orioles lineup has been so good that they're just letting him take his lumps and figuring things out at the big league level. He's been playing good defense, good defense at second base, so it's fine. I'm a little worried. I think maybe if it keeps going, they'll send him back to AAA to figure some things out. I think I would have said this before he came up. It is totally within the realm of possibility that Jordan Westberg has a better career than Jackson Holiday, right? Like, every team would rather have Jackson Holiday than Jordan Westberg. But when we talk about prospects and young players, that gap is usually smaller than you think. And so the Orioles are, as an organization, are just giving themselves a really good opportunity to have guys succeed at the big league level.
And it's a reminder of how valuable it is to see someone already succeed at the major league level the way we did with Westberg last year. The amount of confidence that gives you. You don't know anything until you actually see it over a sample at the highest level. I don't know how many prospects we need to see torch every level of the minors, and then when they suck in the big leagues, it's like, oh no, what happened? It's like, well, guess what? Because it's a lot harder in the major leagues.